Hi, my name is Ramiro Valdivia, and I will be doing my slide on Homeland Security Advisor Briefing. The second slide is the overview of the threat. Four of the bullet points that I have say domestic violent extremists, which is DVE. The second one is originates within the United States, often lone actors or small groups, and also driven by online radicalization. Domestic violent extremism refers to acts of violence carried out by individuals or groups inside the U.S. for ideological reasons. Unlike foreign terrorism, these threats come from within our borders. Many extremists operate alone, which makes it way more difficult for detection. Online platforms play a major role in spreading the extremist ideas and accelerating radicalization. This slide is on why the threat matters. It is difficult to predict and prevent, often occurs in everyday public spaces. It also targets civilians and institutions and can create fear and division. This threat matters because it is unpredictable and can happen almost anywhere at any time, including schools, transportation places, and public events. These attacks are designed not only to cause harm, but also to spread fear and divide society. Even small-scale incidents can have a long-lasting psychological and political impact. My fourth slide is likelihood of domestic extremism. It's a high likely thing to happen. It is low planning and cost required, also easy to access to weapons, and fast online radicalization. The likelihood of domestic violent extremism is high because individuals do not need extensive training or even funding to carry out the attacks. Radicalization can occur quickly online. Everything gets spread fast online, and everybody knows this, sometimes without family or community members noticing the warning signs. This makes the prevention challenging for law enforcement and any other federal agency to catch on to this. My fifth slide is on the severity of the threat. Four main points are the loss of life, the long-term trauma, the economic disruption, and the damage to democracy. The severity of this threat goes beyond physical harm. This also creates long-term trauma for victims and communities. Not only that, the entire nation. They also disrupt local economies, they increase security costs, and undermine trust in democratic institutions and government stability. Leaves everybody wondering why it happened and just no trust in the government, realistically. My sixth slide is on policy goals. My 4 bullet points say prevent radicalization, detect threats early, protect civil liberties, and strengthen coordination. The main goal of this policy is prevention rather than reaction. So we start early than just to getting right to it as soon as it happens, so we can prevent these things. At the same time, it is essential and critical to protect civil liberties and ensure that security measures do not violate constitutional rights. Got to keep them within the means. Effective coordination across all levels of the government is also very critical. My 7th slide is on prevention and early intervention. Community-based programs would help, as well as mental health support groups. Education and media literacy also to be aware of early warning signs. Prevention is the most effective way to reduce any domestic extremism. Community programs, mental health resources, and education can help address isolations and misinformation. Identifying early warning signs also allows intervention before violence occurs, to be more aware of things like this and to be more cautious, to catch on early before anything ever happens. My 8th slide is on online monitoring and technology. My 4 bullet points say partnership with tech companies, AI-assisted threat detection, as well as focus on violent behavior and transparency and oversight. Because much of this radicalization happens online, we have the technology and we have the companies to play key roles in the system. DHS should work with these companies to identify credible threats while respecting free speech and privacy. The oversight and transparency ensure that these tools are not abused. Another major slide is law enforcement coordination, intelligence sharing, joint terrorism task force, specialized training, and a multi-level cooperation. Improved coordination allows agencies and task forces to share information quickly and respond more effectively, respond earlier to prevent. A joint terrorism task force can bring together federal, state, and local agencies to address domestic extremism collaboratively. With these few things, we have the ability to stop things before they even come, to prevent the most. My 10th slide is on constitutional safeguards. This would help protect the First Amendment right, have due process, have judicial oversight, and behavior-based enforcement. This policy is constitutionally sound because it targets violent actions, not beliefs or speech. Judicial oversight ensures accountability, while due process protects individual rights and maintains public trust. This slide, economic viability, builds on existing programs, cost-effective prevention, public-private partnerships, as well as lower long-term cost. From an economic standpoint, this policy is realistic and sustainable, rather than creating new federal agencies or large bureaucracies. It builds on programs that already exist within DHS, the FBI, and state and local governments. Prevention-focused strategies are far less expensive than responding to attacks after they occur. My 12th slide is alignment with American values. Freedom of speech, rule of law, community trust, and democratic principles. Despite its strengths, this policy faces real challenges. Lone actors are difficult to identify because they often operate quietly and independently, don't involve anybody else, don't go on social media to spread the word. There are also ongoing concerns about privacy, especially when monitoring online spaces. Additionally, extremist tactics and online platforms change rapidly, requiring constant adaptation, not just one focus for one day. With this, there's obviously going to be some challenges and as well as limitations. Lone actors are unpredictable. Privacy concerns are also a main thing. Also, rapidly changing online spaces. Kind of going over like the last slide a little bit. No policy can eliminate all risk. Lone actors are difficult to detect, and online platforms evolve quickly. However, acknowledging these challenges allows DHS to adapt and improve strategies over time. Improves their strategies, improves their time management, improves pretty much everything that they need to adapt on online platforms. The overall impact of this would reduce risk of attacks. It would have stronger prevention systems, have better coordination, and preserve liberties. Taken as a whole, this policy provides a strong net for security benefit. It reduces the likelihood and impact of attacks by focusing on prevention and early detection. It improves coordination among law enforcement agencies and strengthens partnerships with communities and private sectors. Most importantly, it maintains constitutional protections and public trust, which is what this nation needs. And finally, the conclusion slide. Serious and ongoing threats. The main focus of this is prevention, balanced and lawful response, and also keeping and protecting freedom and security. Domestic violent extremism remains a serious challenge, but a balanced one. Prevention focused and constitutionally sound approach offers the best path forward. That is why this policy focuses on prevention, early intervention, and coordination, rather than only reacting after violence occurs. By combining community-based programs, responsible use of technology, and a strong law enforcement cooperation, as well as federal agencies, the United States can reduce the likelihood and the impact of these attacks. Most importantly, this approach protects national security while remaining consistent with the Constitution and American values of freedom, due process, and the rule of law. And finally, through this assignment, I learned that Homeland Security policy is far more complex than simply responding to threats after they occur. That requires balancing risk reduction, constitutional rights, economic cost, and public trust all at the same time, which, if you ask me, is a lot to juggle. This project helped me better understand how prevention and early intervention can often be effective rather than reaction alone. It showed me how important coordination is between federal, state, local, and even private partners. While I may not pursue this career directly in Homeland Security because I'm trying to be a police officer after this, the skills developed through this assignment, such as risk assessment, critical thinking, and policy evaluation, are valuable in many professional settings, especially any of them to do with law enforcement or with the government. Overall, this experience gave me a deeper appreciation for challenges faced by Homeland Security leaders and the importance of thoughtful, well-balanced decision-making. I also want to thank you, Professor, for taking your time and watching this video and teaching me things throughout this course, taking a lot of notes as well, so I appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your week, your weekend, your Christmas break, and Christmas as well. Hopefully, I see you again, but I'll be transferring to a new school after this, so wish me luck, and I wish you the best of luck with your next classes. Thank you.